Good morning. Good morning. It is Monday, June 21st. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Spieta from Home Staging Step by Step. So I run a home staging, home decorating, property styling company. I also do home flips, and I also run an Airbnb now. So I am an administrator and the owner of this group. And hello, Cindy. I haven't seen you for a while, so I'm just waiting for some other people to come on. I see all of a sudden people are hopping on. Great. Say hello as you come on. Chat, put it in the chat box, or you can just go up at the top of the video and authorize StreamYard to use your Facebook profile. So when you say good morning or hello or have any questions, I will actually see your name and know who you are. So I see people are hopping on. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Cindy. And today I kind of picked a funny topic. And oh, sorry, it's very, very hot and humid, actually, more humid than hot. And I opened my balcony, my patio door window, so my dog can sit outside and watch the world go by. So I'm a little damp around my cheeks. But anyway, so today I picked this kind of an easygoing and funny topic because I always try to find topics that would be interesting and appropriate for both people who are selling the house, or maybe you're not selling the house at all, or maybe you're not selling the house yet, but will be in a year or two. And those are the kind of things that I see all the time in clients' houses, or, sometime maybe even in my own, but I do try to be conscious of them. And if I were to put my house up for sale, then definitely those would be the kind of things that I would want to take care of. Okay, so I thought it would be appropriate and interesting for me to discuss them with all of you. Good morning, Lindsay. I just answered your comment before. So I kind of hesitated to call it, making your house look cheap. I didn't really like that term, but let's say, what are the easy to fix home property styling mistakes that make your house look less appealing than it could or it should? And as you ladies are coming on, I see we have several people on. Don't be shy. Say hello to me. Put your comments in the chat box. And the more comments we get, the better it is for the algorithm, and it helps other people in the group to see that I'm live. So that would really help me if you just keep commenting or saying something or asking me whatever questions you might have. So today's topic, as I was mentioning, is really what are the home styling mistakes that we are probably all of us are committing, at least some of them. And I will be asking, which ones are yours, and don't be shy, don't be embarrassed. We'll all commit them, including myself. And easy fixes, because those are the things that are not necessarily expensive to do. I think it's more of a fact that we maybe don't even realize because we live our regular life and we're busy and we're running around, and life is a little messy, right? It's not always as perfect as it is, but if you want to fix some of those things, then your house is definitely going to look more appealing or more expensive if you wish. Okay, so let's start right away. So the first one, it's about a specific type of light fixtures, which has a different name, and I'm just going to say it as it is. I call it the nipple light fixture. There's also a term in the industry that calls it the boob light fixture, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So it's those typical, the least expensive light fixtures that the contractors usually use when they do the new builds. And let me know if any of you watching, if you actually have any of those light fixtures that is still lingering in your house. So they're typically, round. Sometimes they have a border around them, could be white or could be a nickel or chrome. And it's got like a little, nipple right in the middle, right, holding that light. So let's just call them the boob light fixtures. Or the other variety is people who have naked light bulbs. Do I have a photo of one? No, I don't have one. I don't want to stop, but I'll post it. It's a good idea. I'll post it in the comment writer. But it's just a regular round light bulb, round light fixture that, as I said, it looks like a little dome. It's round and it's got a fixture. It's attached in the middle, right, with a pin. So it looks like a nipple. It really looks like a woman's breast. So it's the cheapest one. It's the ones that the contractors use. So I'll put a picture. I'll find one on the Home Depot website and I'll post it in the comments. So the other thing that I see quite regularly, which always really, really surprises me, and I see Cindy said, we replaced our ceiling boobs. Okay, so you had them, but I know you told me that your husband had all of the light fixtures replaced, which is great. And Lindsay says, I have round ones, but they don't have nipples. Okay, if they don't have nipples, so is it probably not the boob light. And the other thing that I see all the time is people who don't even bother. Let's say they buy a new build and they don't bother to purchase the light fixtures. So maybe they have the good intentions, but they just keep the naked light bulbs. And I see that a lot more than I'd like to see it. And I think people kind of tend to forget how important having proper light fixtures is, or it tends to be somewhat expensive, or it could be somewhat expensive. So good morning, Luna from Brazil. So Adriana is watching us from Brazil. I'm so happy to see you. So let me know if any of you have seen, or maybe your relatives or friends' houses or your own houses, if you care to admit that maybe you still have some just naked light bulbs and you never got around to actually putting a light fixture there. So that is kind of a big no-no. And whenever I go see clients, and if they're planning to sell their home, whether it's short term or even medium term, this is something I always recommend, is for them to go to Home Depot or any other hardware store. It doesn't have to be necessarily an expensive one, but at least replace the naked light bulb and make sure that you have the proper ones. And the third type of light bulbs that really bother me, the light fixtures, is the ones in the bathroom, the vanity ones, the bar with just the lights attached to it, the round lights. So sometimes it's like 5 or 4, but it's just, again, it's like the cheapest thing you can find in the hardware store. So it's just like a straight line, a bar, and then it's got the light bulbs attached to it. That is really, really bothering me, that one. So every time I see it, I always also ask people if they would consider replacing it by something a little bit fancier, something nicer. So I think paying attention to your light fixtures in general, those are just like 3 examples, is really making your home look cheap if it doesn't give it the finished look that you'd like it to have. So whenever you can, whether you're selling or not, but put it on your list. And I see Debbie says that she has under her stairs, I just have a light bulb. So, if it's something that's really not visible and you don't care, then maybe it's okay. But eventually, if you are planning to sell your house, you could buy a little small light fixture, not really expensive, and replace it. But that's my first tip to you, is pay attention to your light fixtures and replace them to make your house look more appealing and more expensive. The number 2 thing is the utility cords. And that is something that we're all guilty of, I think, including myself. And sometimes it's very difficult and it is very bothersome, right? To see the cords going everywhere in the house. So their solution to the cords is not an easy one. It's a simple solution, but it's not necessarily an easy one. Now, what can you do? So if your cords are somewhere close to the wall, let's say they're behind your computer desk and you can see all your TV, and all this, cords for your entertainment units are just hanging loose all over the place. And we all struggle with that because I hate seeing cords coming down from the TV, and I always try to find the ways to hide them. Now, one of the ways, let's say for the TV unit, it's not always possible, but the best way is, of course, to go from the back of the wall. So we have the hole drilled at the top and at the bottom by the plug, and then have the electrician pass the wire inside the wall. And that's like the best solution. But maybe you're in a rental, or maybe it's just, you know, too much, or it's not possible for you. So the other solution that you might want to consider, I don't know if you know, but there's such things, it's called cord concealers. And basically they are plastic covers that attach to your wall, and all the cords go inside of that cord concealer. So it becomes like a little road. So instead of having your cords all over the place, they kind of all neatly go into this cord concealer plastic box that it lines up and goes all the way down to your outlet. And the good thing about those cord concealer boxes is that you can paint them the same color as the wall. So you could leave them white, or if you really want to kind of them to blend in with the rest of your room, they're easily paintable. And that way it makes it look really neat and proper. And even if you have that cord concealer box running down from your TV, at least it doesn't look as nasty as the black TV and entertainment unit cords on their own. So that would be my suggestion to, and you can find them, I think, pretty much in any big hardware store. So that would really be my suggestion on how to deal with the cords. Now, number 3, I want to talk about IKEA furniture. And I love IKEA furniture. I love IKEA mirrors. Sorry, my window is open because I was saying my dog is sitting outside on the balcony, so it's a little loud. So I love IKEA stuff. I think you can decorate your house very nicely with IKEA things. But if you put too many of IKEA furniture pieces and accessories and artworks, and they're very easily recognizable, right? Because everybody knows what IKEA stuff looks like. So it's okay to mix and match. But if you put too many of them in the same room, it really becomes like a dorm room. It looks very student. So it's okay for, you know, a student or a young person who is just starting out. But if you want your home to look more expensive, more appealing, then you definitely should limit the number of IKEA pieces that you have per room. So there is a concept that's called like high and low. With what it means that you can mix some expensive pieces with some inexpensive pieces, and that's perfectly fine. So if you take, let's say you have your dining room table and chairs, which are from IKEA, which is great, you can do that, but then maybe you're gonna put some really nice, more expensive artwork on the wall, or maybe you're gonna put some kind of a, you know, buffet, or something for dishes. Or again, if you have an IKEA couch, you know, IKEA's couches are very nice, but then make sure that you don't put a coffee table that's also from IKEA. Or maybe you're gonna buy some really nice chairs, maybe a leather chair or some different types of chairs to mix and match with the IKEA furniture. And I think it's really good a way to incorporate cheaper furniture into your styling or your design, but without the house looking, you know, cheap. So let me know your thoughts. I see that I have had few comments. Lindsay said that storage area in your basement is bare bulb. Okay, in the storage area, I think you're okay. If it doesn't bother you, you know, I wouldn't necessarily expect you to have a light fixture there. But what do you think about the IKEA furniture and my idea of mixing and matching and just having 1 or 2 pieces of IKEA furniture or area rugs or artwork or whatever it is, and mix and matching with other pieces? Okay, post your comments, let me know. So we had the boob light fixtures. We have the utility cords we discussed. We talked about too many of IKEA furniture pieces in one room. And then following up on that, what I was thinking also is what I see in a lot of, I want to say maybe older people's homes or more traditional homes, let's say, is very matched sets. Okay. And Lindsay is saying that she has IKEA mixed with other furniture. Yeah, that's perfect. So what I mean by this is mixing furniture sets. So let's say you have, in the most common is the living room and the bedroom. So in the bedroom, let's say, let's say the Italian style, like very big, massive, dark wood furniture. And then the people will have the bed, and they will have the night tables, and then they will have their tall boy dresser and another big dresser, and everything is from the same collection, from the same set, so everything is matched. The same thing for the living room. Some people still have, let's say, a 3-seater couch, and then a love seat, and then a chair, and they're all going to match. They're all from the same collection. They all look the same. And that's kind of a big no-no these days in decorating or styling, because it just makes it look boring, plain, traditional. There is no pizzazz. There is nothing happening there. So again, my suggestion is you can kind of, again, mix and match. So you could keep, and again, what you could do, if you don't necessarily want to get rid of all of the furniture, if you already have that, maybe you can distribute those pieces differently inside your home. So you could have, maybe one couch in the living room, and then mix and match it with completely different chairs, an interesting coffee table. So, and then you can take your love seat and a chair, and let's say you can bring it to your den or your family room where you watch TV. So you don't necessarily have to get rid of your stuff, but there are clever ways of repositioning your furniture so you can create interesting vignettes and different looks of your furniture. So you really need to mix patterns and colors and textures. This is what I do for my clients. Let's say if I go and I do like a redesign for them, a lot of times I'll try to preserve as much of their furniture as they want. Sometimes they can't wait to get rid of it, right? But if there are certain things that they cannot afford for now, or they want to keep, then we have to mix and match. So we could keep, part of the furniture in one room, and then we'll transfer part of the furniture in another room, and then we'll just purchase missing pieces to complete and create something new, and not necessarily matching. So it still has to complement each other. So it has to work visually in terms of your color schemes, and in terms of the style, and in terms of your patterns and things, but you really can create a very interesting visual look. So Adriana says, yeah, mixing items makes so much difference. And I didn't know you didn't have IKEA in Brazil. That's interesting, because Brazil is such a huge country. I'm surprised that there is no IKEA there. That's too bad, really, because IKEA comes in really, really handy for stagings. And, a lot of my candles and I don't really like the cushions there, and I don't like the artwork, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. But their couches are good, and like the dining room tables are not expensive. There's a lot of good stuff that can be purchased at IKEA, and I'm sorry you don't have one. So anyway, I hope you understand what I'm saying by mix and matching furniture. And I'm going to keep on the furniture. Another tip that I have for you, and I think a lot of people are scared of trying that, or maybe it's something that you haven't even thought of, because traditionally when you were growing up, it was not something that was done. It's not something that you saw your parents do. And you're going to know what I'm talking about. And that is really the furniture that is positioned straight at the walls. And I'm specifically referring to the family room, den, living room. I think that's like the worst offender. Let's say in the bedrooms, we don't really want the furniture, the bed being to the wall, unless it's absolutely necessary. Because some rooms are just too small, or if it's a kid's room and the kid just falls out of the bed, so maybe you'll push the bed against the wall. But for adults, it's definitely no. We want in the bedroom, we want the bed, typically the foot of the bed should be facing you when you walk in. But when I'm talking about the living room or living area, I really want you to try a different furniture arrangement. So don't be afraid of moving furniture closer into the center of the room and rearranging it in a way that you always keep the flow, of course. So you have to be able to walk around the furniture easily. But having the furniture stuck glued to the walls, it's just not something that people do anymore. I'm not saying that it should never be the case, because of course it really depends on the size of your room, depends on the shape of your room, depends on the size of your furniture, depends on what the focal point is on the room. So your furniture should be facing the right way. But in general, it's something that I really want you to think about, because having the furniture stuck to the walls really is kind of all old style, and it really makes the house look a little cheaper. So you can become creative and you can try to move the furniture around. That's what I do. That's what I do all the time. And sometimes I have to try 2 or 3 different ways before it makes me happy. And by the way, those of you who saw my little posts last week, if you didn't, I suggest you go read them in the group. And that was about my big, huge staging job that I did last week for a vacant 2 apartments of a very high-end rental properties. And the first time when the movers came, they brought me 2 couches. And, when you stage vacant properties, one of the challenges is, because I rent the furniture now from a supplier, I don't necessarily have access to what I need at the time I need it. So basically we have to choose from what's available at that time. And that is a huge challenge, because I have to come up with ideas and design in my head based on not what I would like ideally, but based on what's available at that moment. And sometimes I have to mix and match things, and they're not necessarily 100% to my taste, but that's the way it is. So that's what we have to do. That's why we're so good at what we do. That's why people call me miracle worker, because I can combine things even if they're not necessarily 100% what I would envision in my mind as an ideal setup, and then somehow it still works. So the reason I'm telling you that is that in this particular case, I couldn't have 2 couches of the same size because I didn't have any. That's what I wanted. So then I had to choose a bigger couch, and then the only one was a smaller couch, and that smaller couch, it was not even like the same. It was not the same, but it was similar enough. It was a little bit of a different style. The gray fabric was not exactly the same, but that was okay. And then I also got a chair. But they were all mixed and matched. And when the movers came, and I thought I wanted the furniture positioned a certain way. And so they placed it the way I told them to. And we had so many other things to worry about, and everybody's in a rush, and we're running around the whole, the 2 apartments. Anyway, so when they left, the furniture stayed the way they first positioned it. And I kept looking at it, and I was not convinced, because that room was just so big. I realized that I was kind of missing furniture in that room. There was just not enough. And I was not really 100% thrilled about the way the furniture was positioned. So the next day, I had my assistant coming and to work with me to actually complete the whole staging. And the first thing we did is I actually dreamt about it in the middle of the night. So when we went back the next day, that was the first thing I asked my assistant to do. Sorry, I'm just okay, I'm going by the cleaning machine. As we took the smaller couch, and good thing was the smaller one because the bigger one was enormously heavy. So good thing we didn't have to move that one. And then instead of it facing the couch, I actually put it at a 90-degree angle facing the window, which is amazing because that window gives out, that's an amazing view. It's really the focal point of the room. It gives out onto our mountain. The view is spectacular. It's on the 9th floor. So that made so much more sense because it was facing the focal point, and I was able to push it out more, so it kind of filled up the room a lot more. It looked like there was, the room was better filled with whatever furniture I had. Even if I didn't have enough furniture, then I had to bring a console table. Anyway, you can see the picture of what it looked like at the end on my post. If you go back a few days and you look at the last week ones. But the idea is that you can play with the furniture, and you don't have to have it stuck to the wall. So I really want you to think of that to make your house look more appealing, more expensive. So that's furniture positioning. What else? Oh, let's talk about the wall art. So that is a huge way of enhancing your house. I love, it's not easy because it's not always easy to find wall art, and it's not easy to find it at a reasonable price, but it makes a huge difference to the way your house looks. So one of the things is, instead of having several smaller pieces, everywhere on the walls, you don't need that. You could go with a few, but at least one or two, but oversized, like really big wall art pieces. And one of the things is, please do not put IKEA ones, because those are just so obvious. Everybody knows them. And by the way, like, they used to be kind of okay a few years ago. These days, not really particularly crazy about IKEA art. And just because everybody's so recognizable, it just makes it look like very student-like. So don't use IKEA wall art, but find something more unique, something that's big, preferably, maybe nice colors that match your color scheme. Or you can start with an artwork that you really, really love, and then match your color scheme. That's what I do a lot of times. And you match the color scheme to that. And by choosing the right wall art, it really changes the whole look of your house. I guarantee you. As a matter of fact, what I was going to tell you is that when, again, I am referring to the last staging that I did last week, I brought in, I'm trying to remember, at least maybe six or seven different artworks. Some were mine, some came from the rental store, and I placed them in different rooms. 2 in the dining room, 2 in the living room, 1 in the entrance, and one per bedroom in the big apartment. And when the property manager came in to see the results of the staging, in the elevator, she actually told me that she was very difficult to impress, which made me really, really nervous. But when she came in and she kept going, wow, this is amazing, that looks fantastic, wow, I'm so impressed, blah, blah, blah. And then she actually specifically commented on the artwork. And one of them, she even asked if she could buy it for herself. So I think that's one of the ways that you could absolutely enhance the look of your house is by buying, 1 or 2, even a couple of pieces that you can afford. And by the way, I want to mention something here is that I have a friend. She is an amazing, amazing artist, and she makes amazing artwork, which is very, it's abstract, it's whatever colors, she makes customs, anyway. And her artwork is very expensive. It sells all over the world, but she also has now offered an option of prints, which are a lot less expensive. and so a lot of more accessible to anybody who is interested. And you can order those prints in different sizes, and the price varies based on the size that you order, but they are printed on a Canva. And then you can buy them either as a roll-up or as a stretch on a Canva. And if you're interested, then just comment below or send me a DM, because I do want to promote her artwork, because I think it's amazing, but also I think it's a very good solution for all of us when we're looking for artwork. You know, you don't want to get something really cheap, or maybe you can't afford to pay $1,500 for a piece of art, but this is an in-between solution, so you can get access to the same look that she makes as the original painting, but stretched on a Canva. And you, depending on the size, it could be maybe $300 or $400, which makes it, you know, a lot more accessible. So I am trying to, I have links. I can refer you to her shop, and you know, I can help you choose the artwork. So I'm going to try. I'm looking for a way right now to promote it properly inside the group. I'm having a little bit of trouble becoming an affiliate for Etsy, but just talk to me individually, and I'll set you up, because I think it's an amazing solution for all of us. Okay. So we talked about the boob lights, the cords, the IKEA, too many IKEA furniture, number 3, the matching furniture sets, number 4, the furniture positioning, furniture not hugging the walls, please, that's number 5. The wall art is a number 6. Will there be a recording? Yes, there is a recording always, and it will be available right here for the rest of the week. And then I actually save them in guides 3. So if you want to go back and look at any of my previous lives, they're just pick guides at the top of the menu, and within guides 3, you'll see all of the recordings. Okay, now we're at number 7, I believe. Yeah, number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, number 7. Okay, I want to talk about area rugs. That's another thing that's really bugging me, because I see that most people use area rugs. Either they don't use them at all, or they use too small. The sizes are just too small for the rooms and for the furniture that they have. And that is another thing, when the area rug is too small for your space, and if it doesn't go under the furniture, it just makes your house look a little cheap. So that is my big advice. What you need to do is to make sure that the area rug is big enough. Let's say if it's a dining room, that the chairs, when you slide them out, that the chairs are still on the area rug. And again, if you have a look at the pictures of what the staging that I did last week, you'll see I actually had an area rug in the dining room there, which I don't always do, depends on the client's budget. But this room was so huge, the dining room was huge, so I needed to fill up the space. And also this is a corporate client, so they have more money. And so we were able to order a big 8x10 rug to go under the table. The same thing in your living room. If you're putting a rug, make sure that at least the front legs of your furniture are on the area rug, and the specific rules where the rug has to stick out on the 2 sides of your biggest couch. So if in doubt, go for a bigger rug. And also, if you have, let's say you have a small rug that you absolutely love because, I don't know, you brought it from one of your trips or something, but you know that it's too small for this space. Well, there is another solution, is that you can actually layer rugs. So you can buy something neutral in a much bigger size, and then you can put the smaller one on top just as a decoration. Okay, so let me know, put some comments in and let me know, what your thoughts are so far. If you're seeing in yourself, in your own home, any of those little, tweaks and corrections that we're talking about that you're willing to try, or that you're willing to change, whether you have those things that are not exactly perfect. So if we want to buy some neutral big area rugs, Marie says, where do you suggest? Walmart, Home Depot. I'm about to go out to buy some as mine. Okay, Marie, it depends if you are, if you're a stager. I cannot discuss like specific stores, but online, even on Amazon, you can find a lot of area rugs. There's specific area rugs company. Even honestly, IKEA, I buy some rugs at IKEA. Even HomeSense. HomeSense has them, and even Home Depot sometimes. But like it's a specific. There's a lot of places that you can find nice rugs and not too expensive. Okay, so let's talk about. We have a couple of more points here before I'm done. Okay. The curtains. That's my dada again. The curtains, I cannot stand when the curtains are too short, and the window coverings, can make a house look really cheap. So if you have those completely outdated horizontal blinds, especially if they are like different colors or like metal ones, or if you have the old style also the verticals, please, whenever you have a chance, put it on your list of things to replace, okay? Because that's just not in style anymore. I really like curtains as a cheaper solution because you can buy not expensive curtains, because there's a lot of other nice things. You can have shutters, you can have blinds, you can have all sorts of other window coverings. But if you're looking for a solution that that's not so expensive, then you can go with curtains. And somebody's asking what size rug for under queen size bed. Okay, so it really depends, and you need to make sure if you put a rug under the bed, you have two options. You can either put two rugs on the sides of the bed, or what I like is to get, usually probably depending on the size of your room, to be honest, but like you can probably, the typical sizes are 5 by 7, 6 by 8, and 8 by 10. So you have to measure, but if your room allows it, you could have a 6 by 8 if you can find it, and it has to be positioned a certain way, or to 8 by 10, it has to be pushed under the bed, so when somebody gets off the bed, it's on both sides, and then you have to have part of it that's coming out in the front. So if you have specific questions, you can ask me. And for the curtains, it's okay. So get rid of your blinds. Let's say you want a solution that's not too expensive. You can put curtains. Make sure you put them high up, please. Okay, they have to be at least only 3-4 inches maybe from the ceiling. They have to be just the right length. They have to go down to the floor. So as many of you know, I just decorated a new property that my husband and I purchased a waterfront, and we kind of, right now, we're using it partly for ourselves right now and partly for Airbnb. And we're just so successful with the Airbnb that within 3 days we booked out the whole summer till Labor Day, till like September. And one of the issues that I had in this house is that it actually has a very bizarre, the master bedroom doesn't have a real window. It has a patio door, and the patio door gives out onto the main entrance of the house. So all that to say that patio door, I somehow needed to hide it. So I needed to put curtains there. That's what I decided to do, to put blackout curtains, and this way to make the bedroom look very intimate. Now I bought the curtains at IKEA, that they were $40. They're very nice. They're gray, they're blackout, they're exactly what I wanted, but they were way too long. So what I wanted to do is IKEA has actually a solution where you can cut and you can buy a stick tape, which is a couple of dollars, and then you can fold the curtain and you iron. You put the tape in between the folds and you iron that, and that's how you can fix it yourself. I didn't have the time to do it. I didn't feel like doing it. So I measured the curtains. We put them as high as possible. Then we measured exactly what I needed to go down to the floor. And honestly, I took them to a seamstress, and it cost me like an additional $40 to have them done. But now they look absolutely perfect. So that's how the curtains should be. They should be very high up at the ceiling, go down to the floor. It's going to make your room look a lot more luxurious, sexy, appealing, rich. more expensive. So that's a trick if that's what you need to do. And let's see. So that is about the curtains. Okay, one other thing a couple of other things that I want to address. They're small, but they're bothersome. So I don't know if you guys have a kitchen garbage cans that is visible in the kitchen. That really, really bothers me. Like, I know for your everyday life, it's probably something that is practical for you, and maybe it's something that you need to do, and it's okay if that's your choice, and this is for practicality reasons. You want to have like one of those big garbage cans that's kind of just sitting, right in the middle or visible in your kitchen. But the day that you decide to sell your house, or if you want to make your house look more appealing, if you want to style it, then you should try to find another solution, because those standalone garbage cans just really do not look appealing in the middle of the kitchen. So just think about it. Maybe you can fit a garbage can in one under one of your cupboards, or maybe you can take it out and put it somewhere else. Like, it depends, on your situation. But I just want you to realize that when the time comes, or if you're willing to deal with it now, whatever your situation is, having a garbage can that's visible in the middle of your kitchen is not sexy. And one last thing, it's the shoe racks. Okay, let's talk about shoe racks. Again, it is a practical, it's a practical thing. So I know we all have shoes, and sometimes we don't have a choice, or it's just, we have kids, and it's a thing. Okay, we have garbage racks, but I'm sorry, shoe racks. But when, again, if you want to deal with it, and then you can look for another solution, and I'll give you a couple of ideas on what solutions you can look at. So, for example, when you walk in, like just seeing those shoe racks there is not pleasant. You have maybe 30, 40 pairs of shoes, and it's messy and it's smelly. It is smelly. So when you have people coming in, even yourself, like, I really hate seeing and smelling shoes. So even for yourself, it might be something that bothersome, or if you have friends or family, or eventually if you're going to be selling your house, then it's definitely not a thing. So what do you do instead? So there's a couple of options. If you have an entrance closet, maybe you can build a shoe rack, or just buy or fit a shoe rack inside, at least inside your entrance closet. And this way, you have them out of sight. The other solution is there are stores, including IKEA and there may be other ones, that sell those storage units which are closed, and they're like little drawers. You open them up and the shoes fit inside. I have one of those at my entrance because I have a very small entrance, and basically when you open the front door, you kind of just walk into the main area of my house. So this is what I bought. I bought it at IKEA. It doesn't store a lot of shoes, to be honest, but I always keep like our most important pairs that are for the season, so maybe there's like 8 pairs of shoes in there. There's an umbrella in there. There's the dog leash in there. There's some gloves for the winter. I put my gloves and scarves. So it's a super, super easy solution. It's a very nice unit. It's tidy. It doesn't take a lot of space, and that really works. And the rest of the shoes, honestly, I have a few pairs, again, whatever we're using regularly based on that season. I have them inside my entrance closet, which is quite small. And the rest of the shoes, I have them tucked away in my regular closets. And so I rotate, but typically you're always using only a few pairs of shoes at a time, right? So I think this was like my last point, but it's something that I wanted you to think about, is having those shoe racks, and whether there's something you can do about them to make them look better. And Marie Adriana says that the garbage cans bother her a lot personally too. Yeah, I know. Marie says garage has a wall of open and visible wood shelves painted to match garage walls? Should we remove the shoes when we are staging to sell? Okay, well, Marie, we can take it offline. You can talk to me. I would be happy to do a consultation for you, and we can go over everything in your house. But basically, in the garage, I think, you know, it's not bad to have it there. It's still, if you can remove most of the shoes, it's probably better, because you don't want people to think that you don't have enough storage space inside the house. And so, but I have to see the rest of your house, and maybe we can find another solution. But you can only leave a couple of pairs, and then the rest, yeah, I would put it out of sight. The least is the better. The less things you have, the better it is. So that's it for me for today. It's a long one again, 45 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it useful. And as I mentioned, it will be recorded. It will be staying in the announcements for the next few days. I will be sending out a replay by email as well. So you guys, anybody who is not on my email list and you want to be, please let me know. You can just DM me send me a message with your email. I'll put you on the email list. And my last thing that I want to tell you is that if you have any kind of project, whether it's like Marie to do the staging to sell her own house, or if you're looking to redesign your house, please talk to me. That's what I do. I work with clients one-on-one. And I provide, all sorts of services, from a self-paced course, which is quite inexpensive, to the online consultation, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it gets to review everything you need reviewed in your house to make sure that it's perfect for sale. And then I do the actual coaching from A to Z, from the moment that you decide to put your house on sale. We go through the updating of your house, all the cosmetic changes that I recommend. Make sure that you spend as little as possible, but you get the biggest return on your investment as possible. So Marie, maybe you can just connect with me on message, and just, if I'm your friend request me or send me a little message. And anyone else who wants to chat with me, please do so. Send me a message. I respond to everyone, and I try to connect with everyone on Messenger, but sometimes there's just, I'm just behind in my stuff, but I'm always available. I respond to everybody. And thank you so much. Connect with me. Let's talk and see how we can make sure that your house looks amazing, whether it's for sale or not. Thank you very much, and have a great day, everybody.